Greetings and salutations everyone, I'm Ekamac, this is Limbus Company. In our previous episode, we actually tackled the Blubbering Toad, which is the week's envy in Luxcavation, and it was actually kind of the hardest out of all of them. So far we've had one Season 2 abnormality in the Brazen Bull, and then two of the Refraction Railway exclusives in the Pride and Envy from Season 1. So I'm kind of concerned. Sloth. I'm quite sure that Sloth is so that no one will cry, which is going to be a problem because that one can get kind of finicky. But the other thing is that Drifting Fox is another abnormality that will tank your SP if you aren't careful about spreading it out. I know this. If it isn't the Lust or the Gluttony Luxcavation, then we might be in some actual trouble. Of course, there's only one Luxcavation left it could be, and that's Wrath. So far we haven't seen too many Season 2 abnormalities, but it's always possible that we're going to get one right now. So who's in line? What the heck? Okay, so this is a problem. This one is all about blunt damage, which means that Mersault's tankiness... This is his best Wrath ID by far. Which kind of makes sense since he only has 2. The problem is... weak to blunt. This boss uses exclusively blunt skills. But also, I really want to bring his chain of others to this fight. But it also doesn't really work. And the thing is, this boss, if it's anything like its normal versions, this boss will heavily punish you for bringing a burn team. So I've got to puzzle this out. Okay, let's throw in Heathcliff, and we'll just see how badly this goes. Actually quite badly, because we need a source of gloom if we want to use Chain of Others. Do we honestly have no gloom sources?
싱싱한 풀이 보이네.
Okay then, so no one will cry. At the end of turn, if this unit has burn, inflict the same amount of burn to all units with entangled curse talisman. When the arm is broken, it deals negative 20% damage. So turn 1, we have accumulating curse. Inflict 1 curse talisman. If it wins the clash, and it has a very good chance of doing so, then it will, then it gets to double the curse talisman infliction. Now here's the thing, we get extra damage per count, but when we start to go over to hit, when we reach 9 count or more, then we get an attack power down debuff. 2 is not a small amount when we're barely scraping by. And over here we have Entangling Talisman. Inflict 2 Entangled Curse Talisman. And it'll inflict Rupture on us. So then, how can we handle this? We don't let Mersault take that hit, we can say that much. It's a better exchange if he gets into a scrap here, I'd say. Ryoshu is actually doing pretty well here. Yeah, the thing is that because of how Liu identities work, Ishmael here is going to be stacking up a little bit of damage on our team, and there's not much we can do about that.
깡총.
Ooh, that might be really good or really bad. We need to line up accumulating curse against the people that have more talismans. The problem is that Mersault really doesn't have a good chance here. 76. He can survive it, but it's going to be really bad for him. But on the flip, he can survive it, but it's going to plow through almost half of his HP. But on the flip side, it might actually be worth it because it'll give him one... That makes him 3. It'll give him 6 talismans. And that's actually kind of handy. Also, it's going to be slightly less damage than advertised because he gets protection. Oh, Heathcliff, don't do this to me. You're terrible with lust skills. Actually, now that I think about it, Mersault is weak to lust and blunt. So yeah, he actually did do a pretty good job tanking that. We just don't want him to tank anymore because this rupture is going to get out of hand very quickly. Oh no. You outspeed everyone, so we can't control who gets all the talismans. That is extremely bad. So, this is his third turn. He's going to use Transferring Talisman. Remove all entangled curse from target. Gain the same amount of reattached curse talisman. If we scroll down to here, at 9 count, gain 5 bind. At 12, gain 5 attack power down. We desperately need this attack power down. The problem is that because he's so fast, I can't actually redirect most of these onto the people that have the talismans. Like, he rolls a 4 speed, and that's just barely outside of Mersault's range.
No, mat.
Apparently there are people out here doing solo runs of these guys. I would love to know what they're doing to get around all these rupture stacks. The wooden doll stopped in place as if nothing was happening. His head was tilted slightly downward, like it was examining his talismans. Perhaps it could have been looking at the sinner's talismans. As if possessed, the sinners began to walk toward the wooden doll. It's like they forgot who they were fighting just moments ago, and they started removing the talismans entangled on their bodies. Just what could be going on? Oh boy, this is still a sloth check. So Don Quixote is our best chance of beating this, simply because if she flips her heads, then it beats that 15. So you and you cannot do this clear. Technically, oh actually Yi Seng cannot do this. Ishmael can win, but she needs way more SP than she has. Ryoshu technically could, but she'd need to flip 3 heads, so please Donnie, get this right. Don Quixote gathered the detached talismans and stood before the wooden door. He seems to be gazing silently. Or perhaps it was just the sinner's conscience making it seem that way. The eagerness to return the talismans to where they were. Don Quixote extended their arm to hand over the stack of talismans. As if drawn by a magnet, the talismans flew toward the door. So no one will cry. After muttering the phrase, Don Quixote came back to their position. So no one will cry gained 5 retached curse talisman. Don Quixote gained 2 haste next turn.
나의 정의에는 결과가 있었어.
This happens every time we have that guarding phase. And unfortunately it wasn't enough because the stupid thing outsped Mersault. That's horrendous. And man, it would have been so nice if she could have gotten enough speed for this skill because... let's just line up a clash so I can show these numbers. 3 to 18! Failing to get that... failing to get the 12 stacks of Talismans was terrible. But that's what we have Ego for, right? We're guaranteed to beat this. I was actually kind of concerned because I'm used to the Refraction Railway version of this fight. And it is far more punishing if you can't shut down the so that no one will cry attack. We couldn't get it up to 6 absolute resonance for his tremor count, but it's not the end of the world.
죄를 새겨주겠어.
자, 이쪽입니다.
Hey, do you remember when I started this fight and said, I'm pretty sure that So No One Will Cry is going to be the sloth fight? Yeah, I remember that. That was a really nice time. Now here's the real question. How much are you going to mess this guy up with those 6 talismans?
이 구속구가 나의 폭력을 저지하기엔 턱없이 모자라지.
Oh man, we messed up the body, but... Wow, Donnie is just being extremely stubborn with her speed. Overbreathe just isn't happening. Actually, wait, hang on. As much as I want to get some clashes for you, we can't actually do that because we need to stack talismans.
참여하게 되리라.
So yeah, unlike the others, I think I am going to need to do some proper planning. I think the resource I really need.
신나서 날뛰는 건 더 해치울 거 없어? 난 이제 시작인데.
So the resource I really need to get my hands on is sloth. So I'm going to do some team building off screen and we'll see what we can do. I mean, we technically do have sloth, but it's not enough. Okay, I've come up with my final option. Sorry, Duncan Sote, I know you had the secretary role today, but we need to bring in someone who's going to help a little bit more.
준비되었습니다.
If I can... So, the thing is, it's not just that Regret Forced has her sloth skill. It's actually kind of a downside that she has Unleashed Violence as her Wrath skill, because while it does mean that when she gets to line up in an Absolute Resonance she's going to absolute clean house, it's also only going to come once every 6 turns and we shouldn't be going that long. It's not the fact that she has this hidden Gloom counter skill, because we really don't want this boss to get attacks off. It's her skill 2. That plus coin drop is going to be very handy if I line it up right. Also, after all the time that I've been trying to get Overbreathe to line up properly, it just isn't. So then, fingers crossed.
맛있는 경험을 기대하.
I said there are certainly options I could pick for Ishmael that don't involve setting the boss on fire, but these attacks shouldn't be racking up too much count. And unlike all the other bosses that we've faced, this one just has, well, unlike most of the bosses we've faced, this one has its attacks lined up in such a way that we can exploit it. Whoa, wait a minute. Oh, you cheeky thing, you did it again onto me. The thing is, Forced is very weak to lust attacks, so if this gets off, she doesn't have the blunt resistance like you'd expect. It's going to hurt.
무슨 맛일까?
You know what really doesn't help? We keep breaking the right arm, and that means that we get less turns of getting extra talismans. Our speed isn't in a particularly good spot, which is why I've tried setting up this sloth generation team. We'll see what I'm planning there in a bit. $47 damage. I feel like actually we do want to use the hidden inner gate elbow strike here in hopes of getting that burn count off before it gets out of hand. Actually, this is a very good lineup here. Quick suppression and everyone diving in on this specific arm. We're probably going to snap it right off.
참여하게 되리라.
날 뛰어보라고.
너, 말, 취.
So yeah, that's kind of a problem because all the talismans are spread out across the sinners. Ooh. Oh. I just realized we don't actually have anyone who can meet this skill check now. Actually, yeah, I completely forgot that this is actually what we want to do. We want to have him use Crow's Eye View. It's a sloth attack, so it's not going to be that strong versus the boss.
깡총.
이상이 무엇이라 생각하시오?
But it gives out 3 haste, and why is someone mowing their lawn this early in the morning? I just realized when I looked over. Ooh, we got lucky there. So if you fail the check, then I think what happens is that it simply destroys all of the talismans on that sinner, which isn't bad, but given that next turn is going to have these attacks come back, it's still not nice. Actually, I have a question. When all is said and done, at the very least, Ishmael can easily take this attack. She'll be very upset next turn with that 5 paralyze and 5 bind on her, but she is able to negate the majority of the damage there. Also, I think because we broke the arm, it's actually reduced the damage from those a lot. Show me. Right arm, it does have the plus coin drop. I think that's because Forced hit it with an AoE last turn. But yeah, the main reason that we use the Crow's Eye View is so that we can get a whole bunch of haste. And we made it to 10 Talismans, annoyingly. The Talismans don't stick around. After this turn, it deletes all of the purple Talismans on its body, so...
참여하게 되리라. 이 구속구가 나의 폭력을 저지하기엔 턱없이 모자르지.
Style kill. But yeah, I think that out of all of the fights, this is the one where you desperately need a lot of speed, especially on your tank, because you need them to be able to intercept and then survive.
조기 소진 걱정은 안 해도 되겠는걸.
That said, the boss's attack power was actually low enough that Mersault was able to handily take even its stronger attack and not care at all. Even though he had a fatal to Blunt and a fatal to Lust. So yeah, don't underestimate the tanks. Anyway, I feel like whatever else could be waiting for us on the other side can't possibly be as bad as this. Maybe Drifting Fox, but I feel like So No One Will Cry is the thing that I was actually worried about. So, until next time guys, take care. I'll see you all around.